This is a screencast on how to use connectors in your writing. Now link your ideas. So that means taking one idea and linking it to another. Now before we go any further, you need to be able to use connectors in your narratives. If you look at your rubric or your matrix, the level 3 on, which is below the standard, if you don't use them, that's where you would be. If you use them, and you use some linked ideas, you're actually at level 4 and level 5, which is at and above the standard. So let's have a look here. Here's some examples of some. There's two types. There's your basic connectives that you can use: after, then, before. So if I was to take the very simple story, I went to the dairy, I bought some lollies, I realised I had forgot my money, I went home, got the money, and then I went back to the dairy and bought some lollies. Very basic. But let's add some connectives in so it gives it some more flow and so that sequences the ideas better. So I went to the dairy, then I went to buy some lollies. Next, I realised I did not have any money. I then decided to go home and collect some money, and I went back to the dairy and got some lollies. So those are the basic ones, the basic connectives that are used all the time. And the next ones that are often used are these ones here, which are called the time connectives. And that's when you actually put a proper time on it. So it might be things like 2 hours before, the day after, the next week, a year later. So let's take an example and let's look at the model here that we've got. So this model here, my first driving lesson. If you have this, get this in front of you please, so open up your books and I'll wait a moment while everyone does that. Hurry up, Maha, please. You too, Rachel. Okay, so here's what we're going to look first. In the first paragraph, there aren't any, but we're going to go straight to the second paragraph. I was going very slow for fear that I might hit something. My dad was keeping a close eye on me. We got to the traffic lights when they were just turning orange, so I decided to stop. Then, this then here is a connective. So he's about to tell you what he did next. Then the lights turned green and it was time to go, but the car would not move. Everyone behind me was hooting in frustration because I was holding them up. Then, all of a sudden, I pulled off very fast and I could not slow down. My dad, now he could add another one here, this piece here. Rather than saying my dad told me, he could say next my dad told me to hit the brakes in a very high voice, but the car still would not stop. Now we were in big trouble. And now what I could actually do here, rather than saying we were heading down the hill right at the bottom of the hill, rather than saying that, we could actually go a few seconds later. Time connective has been used there. A few seconds later, we were heading off down the hill, and right at the bottom of the hill was a bus full of tourists. So this has just been an introduction. You need to make sure you're using connectives, so make sure I've put a list back up there. Brainstorm now with Miss Nickel about some other time connectors you can think of more and have a go at using them in your writing.